To reconnect, and we're live again.
Hi everyone, so glad whoever's joining us is joining us today. And today our whole discussion is going to be about awareness and how to become aware of things around you to catalyze the change that you're looking for in the new year. So, alright, so to start, I had a phrase in my head this morning that was stuck. And the phrase is this, the quote or whatever. You don't know that you don't know what you don't know. And I read this and memorized it the first time I read it in a book a long time ago by Kelly Ramunda about attention deficit disorder, which everybody thought I had attention deficit disorder. But I found out later that it wasn't that it's just attention dialed into a higher dimension, which I'm thrilled about because I finally found a name for the way I am. So understanding that there are a lot of things that we're not aware of that we're doing, thinking, living, seeing. When we find awareness, then we're better able to start changing the behaviors and attitudes that are not allowing us to move forward.
Yeah. So a lot of that means that we keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, which is also insanity, which is why we feel so crazy all the time.
And overwhelmed.
And overwhelmed.
And I think a really huge thing to understand right now is that we are in a process of an energetic, universal shift. So everybody's running around anxious. Everybody's thinking, what am I going to do now? How's this going to work out? How am I going to get to... And by worrying and putting fear into the equation, you're actually blocking moving with the universal forces right now. We've repeated a couple of times about how 2016 is a year of completion. And in understanding that, it's the number 9, 2, 0, 1 plus 6 is a 9, 2, 0, 1 and 7 is a 10, which makes a 1. And we should really use this, if you're really ready to make the changes necessary to be living the life that you desire, use this coming year, 2017, as that 1 year that it is. 1 plus 0 is 1, 10 is a 1. And it really permeates the frequency of our connection to source, our connection to spirit, and there's no better time to start trusting divine guidance, your intuition. Why pay tuition to an outer source when your inner self knows all that it does? And we've said this before, you can read all the books, read all this stuff. You're just remembering what your subconscious and cellular memory already knows. So pay intuition and really start trusting your inner knowing. You will be amazed at the things that happen in your life like we have.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be taking the time to do this if we didn't see right in our own experience
Totally.
the changes that we've, found.
Yeah.
All right, so you may be thinking, so how do I get started this year? After a death, after divorce, after
Losing a job,
car accident,
your boyfriend or your relationship.
girlfriend, throw that in there, whatever. Whatever has profoundly shifted your life, instead of looking at it like, oh no, now what do I do? You go like this. All right, got another challenge. But you know what? I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to look at it like this. So there's a death. There's an energy that has been taken from your life, a constant that has been taken from your life. But now you say, new start. And where do I start? So as you're saying, where do I start? Really understanding that you're asking for guidance from all of the energies of your guides and divine intelligence, and now start being aware of the people you meet, the places you go, the things that wind up on your desk. You go online and all of a sudden there's the prayer of Jabez, or better yet, Kim, why don't you, Kim found this great. Yeah, we're gonna load you up today, go ahead.
Yeah, so last night I was looking for something, like not even what I stumbled on, I wasn't even looking online. I don't even know how, I just said to Phyllis, I don't even know how I found this, and she was like, really? So, for people who are finding themselves either looking to, the ones who have lost a job, who are looking for some kind of prosperity in your life, and you don't know what to do to get started. Again, all the secret, we talked about the secret, a couple weeks in a row.
The law of attraction and all of the spiritual laws come into play. If you want to be propelled forward in your life, you need to be using the life energy forces and get with the shift. Don't let it throw you off. Okay, Dan, I'm sorry. Sorry.
So there's an author named Catherine Ponder. She wrote all these books in the 1960s, and she speaks the most perfect English. And her seminars on YouTube can be slightly dry. However, what I came across all of last night and this morning was she has made it okay. She was very active in the Unity churches in the 1950s. And at the time, I believe she was teaching that it's okay to ask for what you want, which is what we say in The Secret. It's what is said in Ask and It Is Given. And we made it like taboo that, you find yourself in a need of a prayer to be able to say, God, I need help, with this job. I need help with this sale. And her books, one of them is called The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. And one of the quotes says, I give thanks that my financial income now increases mightily through the direct action of God's rich good. So when I wrote down all these different ones, and the way they're said, she says if you do 15 minutes of reading a day, to do 5 minutes of speaking these, and they're like affirmations, but they actually read very closely more to prayers in my mind. But we have a trouble separating and or combining both of those thoughts. An affirmation is a prayer.
Yes, and it's absolutely more profound when you say it again out loud and you can hear yourself and actually feel what you're saying. And listen, we would not be doing this every week and really pouring our hearts out to you if we haven't seen some really amazing, profound, positive changes in our life this year, when we know everybody is facing loss, difficulty, financial issues, all these things. We're all facing it. We're trying to tell you, look how we've been getting ourselves out of that and not focusing in that place anymore. And we're watching on a daily basis things changing in our life in such a wonderful way. We're like, oh my God, we have to share this.
And this is a time of year that people are in worry and in fear. How am I going to make my next bill and have Christmas? And I'm out of work. All these different things that have happened, and the fear heightens even in the time where you try to be more joyful. So if you can find these ways that we're teaching, and we're just actually bringing what we've learned out to you, because maybe you don't know where to find it. Maybe you've been doing the same thing over and over again.
Repeating the same behaviors.
These things just keep coming to us, and we've been able to practice them.
Right.
And I hand wrote all these pages between last night and this morning because I was like, wow, they were speaking to me, and I think they probably might speak to you too, and that's why I brought them today and I gave them to Phyllis. There was a great prayer that's called Expected and Unexpected Income Prayer. And it just reads, you know, if, like the Our Father, I mean, it just flows so fluently. And I feel like when people find themselves in prayer, that they find, or in affirmations, that they make themselves feel awkward asking, you know, or pouring themselves out to what I need. And all of these things that I just looked up really sounded
Great.
authentic and you know, real, and you're actually having a conversation, a dialogue with God and your
and
source.
when you're not feeling worthy, that's really
Yeah.
just a test, because when you're not feeling worthy, that's your test to say, why wouldn't I be worthy? What makes me not as worthy as the next person or the next person? There's a really good prayer called the Prayer of Jabez, and we're not going in a religious direction with
not
this
at
at all, but understand there is a power greater than us that is in all of us, that we all have access to if we realize it and start to use it today. And that's how I really do my thing in the
Yeah.
morning. I go, listen, today I might have been like dealing with something for like a long time, and it's really wearing me down, and I'm like, it's not going to get me down, it's not going to get me down. And then I go like this: God, whoever's listening to me today, show me the signs today, or I'm quitting. I'm going to quit, because today I want to know. And bam, if I don't get the message or the sign or the paper in the mail or the something that day, it's as simple as asking. And if you're not happy with where your life is right now, then today you have to make that decision to turn your life around, start asking for assistance, start looking for the answers, and accept them when you get them, however they come to you, and start utilizing all of your divine guidance. I mean, it's that easy, and I know it sounds like a mouthful, but there's so back to the Prayer of Jabez. It goes something like this, and I really did read the whole little book of it, but the prayer is this: O Lord, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory so that I may work by your hand and not meet evil. Well, when Jabez first heard the prayer out of a room he was walking by, he first said, who's that man thinking he is, that he's asking to be blessed? Who does he think he is? If you read the short story of the Prayer of Jabez, you'll understand that we're all equally given the benefits, the rights, the knowing, and the gifts to do and change anything we want at that moment in our life, every day, every minute. And if you're not taking advantage of this, then I don't know what you have to read, I don't know what you have to hear, but just try changing your mind. Don't look at things like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that could ever have happened. No, it's usually as horrible as it looks at the time, or disastrous or dramatic at the time. Know that there's a higher purpose and something better, because we've seen nothing but better
Yeah.
come out of all of the things that a year ago we were like, oh, what can we do? And then we started applying all the things we were reading about,
Yeah.
and really finding our inner knowing and really wanting to share all of this. So every day, give yourself 5 minutes to meditate on what your day is going to be like we said. Start journaling. Last year I kept hearing, write it down, write it down, write it down. I know we all have 100 journals that we started, but last year Marissa bought me this beautiful journal, my favorite color, so of course I'm going to use it, and I've been using it ever since. A year ago. It'll be a year in a couple weeks that I've really written in here. And you have to be consistent. You have to show the universe that you're really ready. People come to me, and I know if they're really ready to make that 360, to have the health and the mindset that they really want to make them a better, however they want to change their life. And if you're ready, and your energy and everything lets you know.
Yep, you'll start seeing, and don't discount the signs that you're getting. A lot of times, something will happen like, oh, that was going to happen anyway.
Right.
Recognize the signs that are coming to you, and that's a lot of what we did, telling each other. It's like, oh my God, you won't even believe what just happened the other day. And that's really how we started doing this on a weekly
It's
basis, because
crazy
we were
because
like, oh my God.
And we really both had
Yeah.
a desire to get it out there.
Yeah.
We wound up starting in like a little book group that we were doing,
Mhm.
and Kim and I just kind of ran with it and
Yeah.
went, and it's so funny because in the back of our minds, being able to share all this positive stuff that can happen, you want to scream it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
But it is cold out there today.
It is. Yeah, so there's definitely a lot of opportunity, and that's what we want to start doing, is helping you really stop. If you're on this all day long because you don't have a job, cut it out and get a piece of paper out and a pen and really start writing down what it is that you want to change, you know, and
Stop.
start listening.
Yeah, listening. Stop discounting messages that
Yeah.
you hear as vague thought, and don't follow the messages you get with, oh, sure, me. Don't do that. When you get a message, go like this. You know what? I'm on it. Go for it. Let go of anything that you could possibly think is stopping you from getting to your goal. It's your inner school. Your intuition is your inner school. Start listening to it. It's a higher vibration. It will never bring you any place that you're not exactly where you're supposed to be. And the thing is that we're bringing change to the universe right now to move your life. The universe is moving in that number 1 in numerology for 2017. We already told you 9 is about completion, 10 is about starting over, beginnings, and 1 with source. So if you're not going to allow the vibration of what the universal energy is bringing to us and giving to us to move forward this year, I'm telling you, you jump on that magic carpet ride today, and you will flow into 2017 with a whole new outlook on life. And just a whole new, you know,
Recognize the gifts that you have. We're in the month of December.
your gifts.
We're talking about gifts coming up and gift giving, and you know, people stress out about that. But start recognizing your own gifts,
That's right.
you know, because that's also what's going to help you carry into the new year.
Absolutely, because when you realize your gifts and how enlightened you become about things, and you're able to share that with someone, I mean, it's so much better than like that same old sweater under the tree. Gifting is about our gifts. These are our gifts. What we've been given in birthright is our gifts. And how it turned into a Christmas tree or a menorah and whatever with and all the hustle and bustle, I don't know. But if you start to really realize your internal gifts, the kind of gifts you're looking for are gifts that are going to open you to what you really own already. And you know what? These are gifts that never get outdated. These are gifts that don't get shoved in a drawer. And these are gifts that can never be lost. They can only be found and used for your highest good and to help yourself, and then in turn be able to help others. So meditate, journal your thoughts, be aware of what you hear in guidance, and recognize that your soul will only point you in the best direction going forward. But do these little steps so that the universe knows that you're open. They want to see you're serious. Actions speak louder than words.
And when you really tune into it, today Wednesday I do my run at the farm park, and I wrote on Facebook before I left that I prefer sunny and 70, though it was damp and chilly. So while I started out and I got around to the one side of the park, the sun started coming out on my back, and I'm like, thank you!
There you go.
Because it
There's the
was,
sign.
yeah, and it was damp and it was cold, and I was like, oh, I needed that sun, and I asked for it, and then I came, and I thought, I could have discounted that, but no, I truly, that's what I love, right? And I was like, oh, thank you, that was awesome, and the rest of my time there was sunny,
There you go. And make sure that you're writing questions. If you even want to email us, but get on Holistic Apothecaries Facebook, any questions that you have. And truly, if you have any suggestions for what you'd like us to talk about, we're definitely open to that. And today Kim and I were discussing that going forward, we're putting together a kind of scheduling starting in January. And we're gonna a year ago, we were laughing, we're like a year ago, would you have ever thought we were
Right.
gonna be doing this?
Yeah.
As much as we really wanted to get out there, we weren't getting it out to enough people to share the good, share what we've realized now. So starting in 2017, starting with our first show, we're gonna start doing weekly lessons, if you wanna call it that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like mystery school demystified.
Yeah,
We're gonna show you how we've done, and we'll have some book lists.
yeah, totally. Just like
We'll
with-
definitely have some things that we do, and really be able to guide you in a more of a concrete way.
Yeah,
And you'll kind of move along with us into all of the opening and allowing, and really letting the law of attraction become very much a part of the dynamic in your life.
and I will say too, with this Catherine Ponder series that I know she has, probably at least a dozen books. They're the size of almost pamphlets. Like if you're not a big reader, her lessons they're very small books, and it might be a good 101 for you to get into if you're not much of a reader. She also has stuff on YouTube. YouTube again is a source that I use. Man, some days I'll let Tony Robbins pipe in the back of, what I'm doing, or I was also telling Phyllis that Catherine Ponder, she was from the 50s and 60s. A lot of Joel Osteen's teachings I recognized in these writings. So that was interesting, and he's just more a modern version of her teachings. But even more interesting is that a lot of her teachings come out of the Bible verses. So it's something that's been taught way longer than we can ever imagine. And these books, writings, are all helping us just to remember what we already know.
And you may read one line that just changes everything for you.
Yeah.
But you're not going to know until you start asking, and we promise these things are just going to come into play, and they're really going to, be a really life-changing dynamic
And
for you coming into the new year.
people are definitely looking for more. We've been having probably about 150 views every week,
Yes.
and a lot of people we know. So thank you guys for coming back each week, who are our friends. But what's interesting is that
Hi.
people are really in need of the information that we're giving. You're feeling something inside that you want to change. And it goes back to even for all the people who see the 11s, all the different signs that come, they mean something. And that's why people are looking more and more. And that's why
Everything
we've
means
been helping.
something.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for some specific kind of guidance, definitely write in, because we have probably 1,000 or more books between the two of us that
Yeah.
we've gone through, and we're happy to refer to help you with exactly that. So I would like to thank everybody that joined us today, and definitely write in, even if it's after we're finished today, we'll get back to you. And we're also going to start transcribing so you can go back and see, what it is we're talking about. And please share, and anybody that we can help out, please share, let them know we're doing this. And sometime before next Wednesday, we'll let you know what we're going to be talking about, and the topic will be next week. So, as always, we love you. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great day.